Facebook. Sorry, not Facebook. Well, we should be going live now on DLive and on Facebook. Okay, good. Right, so we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and we're live on DLive, which is the place to watch this show. Coming up in a few minutes. There you go. Coming up in a few minutes, folks. Daily Chaos, top of the hour, 5 minutes time. Until then, I'll play a bit of music. All right, okay, enjoy. Oh. Do-do-do. Blimey, hold on. There we go. Goodness sake. 2-3 minutes, folks. There we go. Do-do-do-do-do. Blimey, I tell you what, this is dreadful. Oi! Oh, yeah, I think I got my guest. John, can you hear me?
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, I hope everybody else can hear you. We've also got Downliner here and Predator Jeff on Discord. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can't hear John, though.
You can't hear John?
No.
Oh, no. We'll have to work that out in a minute. Oh, blimey. We've got the basics of a show. Right. This is dreadful. I do apologise. Standards have gone right down. Oh, for goodness sake, what a lot of absolute... I do apologise. Right, okay, let's just start this thing. Blimey, goodness.
Can you see me?
Yeah, John. Yeah, you're looking good, mate. Good evening, good people. Welcome to the Daily Chaos. I can see John there with his dog. Yeah, in Florida. I'll put him up on the screen in a minute. Yeah. The show ain't daily, but the chaos is. I'm Olly Connelly. Thanks for turning up. And now, stateside. You know, I don't know what we're going to talk about really, but John Filax, Cop Buster, is here, comparing notes about police states and stuff like that, I kind of think. And your calls, yeah, on Discord, guv.li/rant. See you in the comments. Share the show, all that, like it. If you are on DLive, where you should be, that's guv.li/chaos. You can see the video. And you'll be able to see John's dog. Yeah, and my mutt. And the news and all that. I mean, how can you resist? You put it like that. So yeah. Facebook and YouTube are not really the best places to watch this show. But on the other hand, on Saturday, I'm going to be there in London covering events from the ground from about 11 with Daily Brexit. And that will be on Facebook, just Facebook. Daily Brexit for that. Has to be, doesn't it? Looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. Saturday, my God, going to be a fantastic day. Yeah, if you want to support my trip over, that would be cool. PayPal.me/Brexit. Yeah, broke all that. Yeah, but anyway, got to do this stuff. Right, okay. So, John Filax, thank you very much indeed. Please tell me a little bit about what. Well, you are pretty much a crusader, a Joe Public kind of guy who goes about his business and sees altercations being dealt by really what amounts to pretty much a police state and just counters that, yeah, and chronicles it.
Basically.
So how do you get into that? Why do you feel adamantly? Do you see any change? Do you see any improvement with, at least, for example, people's awareness? Or do you feel pretty pessimistically about what you see and not without any much chance of things improving?
There is a chance of things improving. I don't know if it's going to be... Man, hearing my own voice is messing me up. So. Are
you? Really? Oh, no, that's a pain. Hold on a sec. I'll see if I can do something about that. Carry on, carry on.
What was I saying?
I don't know. For crying out loud. Look, I'll tell you what. Let me go through a few news stories that's going on today. Just a few things, a few bits going on. And we'll go into our talk naturally from that, because the thing is that you see this on every angle. We're seeing it in the UK at the moment, for example, classically with Tommy Robinson, what's going on there, which is essentially an assault on free speech. But we're seeing it. We're seeing this big attack between Trump and the deep state now as well. So look, for example, former Secret Service agent files RICO suit against Clinton, Soros, Podesta, and Brock. This is on Zero Hedge this afternoon. Conspiracy theorists and conspiracy factists are running wild as infamously outspoken former Secret Service agent Gary Byrne has filed a racketeer-influenced and corrupt organizations suit, a RICO suit, against what some call the Democrat deep state. Defendants in the case include Clinton Foundation, Clinton Guistra Enterprise Partnership, and all sorts of others. George Soros is named in there, John Podesta, William Jefferson Clinton, yeah. Anyway, right, okay, so that's one thing going on. Do you see, John, your president draining the swamp, or do you think that it's a bit of a charade?
Oh, our president's a liberal compared to me. Are you kidding me? He loves the police. He also said that that we should keep doing stop and frisk, even though it's unconstitutional. He has no idea about the Bill of Rights and Constitution.
Now come true.
Again, compared to me, he's a Discord.
Hold on a sec. The guys on Discord can't hear you, and I know why, but I think they're going to get echo here. Let me try this. Let me try to patch this through. I do apologize, John. Right. Let me just see if I can.
Right, sir.
Okay, now, guys, can you hear John? John is just basically saying how it's too liberal for his taste. Is that right, John?
Yes, sir. I mean, compared to me, most people are liberal, but he'll say stuff like, "Oh, I hate when the cops put their hand on top of somebody's head after they tell him to just kill somebody." So he hates when cops act professional. He wants stop and frisk, which is against the Fourth Amendment, to just stop somebody and start patting them down. You might as well be in Nazi Germany at that point. And they did that in New York for a while. And unfortunately, a lot of the New York police are following the role models of Israeli police. And a lot of American police, go to Israel and get training, which is absolutely ridiculous.
We're seeing that in the UK as well, this pat down thing from the police, and it's a big debate about it. There is a crime epidemic as well in the UK. I don't know if you know, but under, for example, the tenure of this mayor, the crime has just gone through the roof. Knife crime, stabbings. It is, I think, worse than New York City now, even in London, in terms of murder. And
that's what happens when you take away guns.
Yeah, we don't have any guns to protect ourselves, sure, but even and there are no-go zones and what have you as well. Could you not argue that that Trump is basically trying to, I don't know, that he hasn't got any choice but for there to be? Is there that kind of crime level stateside that we're seeing in the UK? That the police don't have any choice?
Knife crime?
Yeah, I mean, for example, for example, we're seeing acid attacks on a daily basis. We're seeing moped attacks. Throughout the UK, we're seeing something like 60 plus moped attacks per day. There's a big copycat kind of thing going on as well. But basically, violent crime and semi-violent crime has gone through the roof, including acid attacks and including murders through knife crime.
What is a moped attack?
That's where somebody drives up on the back of a moped and steal your mobile phone out, snatch it out of your hand whilst you're at a bus stop, or maybe snatch your bag or something like that, and go off on the moped, or ram another moped driver off the road and nick his moped. I mean, it's just incredible, the gall of these guys. But yeah, we're getting all of that. Are you not getting that kind of crime? You're in Florida, aren't you?
No. Yes.
So you're relatively...
If someone tried to do that...
Go on.
If someone tried to do that here, they risk the being shot.
Let me see.
It really deters crime when you don't know who has a gun on them.
Let me see if I can pull you. Yeah, there you go. Alrighty. Okay, we got you on screen now. It's out of control here. In Europe, throughout Europe, crime is absolutely out of control. Can you guys hear us on Discord now?
Yeah, we can hear him.
You can hear him, and you're not getting any echo.
No echo.
Okay. All right. Okay. So John Filax over in the States, sees the policing as being overbearing, guys, way overbearing. On the other hand, the crime isn't anything like at the same levels we have in the UK, say. But on the other hand, surely the biggest problem we have in the UK is we haven't got bobbies on the beat. You know, the cutbacks we've had to policing has been astronomical. But then policing itself should be, you know, done decently, yeah, to protect the people.
We've got common purpose in the UK.
We've got common purpose. Do you know what that means, John? Common purpose. Can you relate that to common core in the States?
Oh, yeah.
How do you think that affects the policing that you see in the States?
What, the Common Core?
Yeah.
Well, it's still too early to affect that. Anyone who's been exposed to Common Core is still young, so it hasn't creeped into the police force yet. It's a fairly new thing here. Okay. The police don't need Common Core. I mean, they recruit people with low IQs on purpose. They don't want critical thinkers. They don't want anyone to use critical thinking ability to do their job. And if you bring up, they actually teach people that constitutionalists like me are cop haters, even though they all swore an oath to the Constitution.
Okay.
And as far as the crime thing goes, when you come up on somebody here, you always run the risk of being shot. So if people don't think that deters crime, they're crazy. And you try to steal somebody's car, you try to steal somebody's phone, you might get shot in the face. So a lot of people think twice.
Let's take a couple of comments. Kenneth Noel Gabriel Curran says, "Call me Dave Pork Scratcher and Tony Blair, etc. Education and multicultural dysfunctionalizing diversities, inculcating ignorance and stupidity and arrogance of pernicious thinking into innocent souls. Children, all roads lead to Rome via number 10 and the square mile. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink." Jesus. Kenneth, you should call in, man. I can tell that you would be take us down the rabbit warren quite a bit. Hey, folks. Yeah, okay, all right. Let's have a look at just another couple of stories that's going on around and about. And Express, EU caves in. Rebel Italy wins as Merkel makes major climb down after boycott threat. Angela Merkel said the draft document of this weekend's EU migration summit will be scrapped after threats Italy's Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte would boycott the meeting. So basically, the EU is on implosion. There's also been a call for a referendum in Sweden now, hasn't there? In Sweden, I'm pretty sure it's Sweden.
Scheme, as you would expect,
hold on a sec. Oh yeah. That's Sajid Javid. We don't really need to hear him, but now the EU must act. May delivers on Brexit promise to protect EU citizens living in the UK. That's the latest thing come out today. A plan to protect the rights of EU citizens living in the UK and a key Brexit breakthrough has been unveiled in the government. And so anyway, it looks as though they've got their deal pretty much wrapped up to present to the EU with that, I suppose. Blimey. It's just a bit of a farce, isn't it? Because we know that the next thing is that they're it's gonna be up to the speaker, apparently. That's the concession that was made yesterday, off the back of Dominic Grieve's amendment not getting through, but and the withdrawal bill gets through without Parliament getting a consideration, as long as the speaker agrees that it's okay. If John Bercow feels that there's maybe some reason that Parliament should get a say, then he will say so, and presumably it opens up this whole can of worms again. And so it's just really, it seems to be another Theresa May fudge that we saw yesterday. I don't know how that's going to pan out. I don't know if you're following this at all, John. This Brexit thing to us, it's part of this. It's a battle in this war on globalization, is the way that we tend to see it. Do you see that?
That's right. Yeah, I see it because the European Union celebrated 50 years of existence when it was only publicly around for about 10 or 12. So, you know, they've been planning that behind the scenes for a long time. And at the same time, they wanted to form the North American Union here, where it would be Canada, United States, it would all be one country or continent, which would dissolve our constitution. So, yeah, I'm kind of up to speed on that. Not as much as you guys would be over there in Europe, but as far as the States go, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really annoying us. We've got a big rally on Saturday in London, and that's actually very exciting because the 23rd, it's been planned for a long, long time. All these disparate groups are coming together in town.
I've just found something out.
Go on, that's James Gore. James Gore, call it. Hey,
I've just found something out. If you use payment, people can get, with your own IO, you can get 10 years in prison. I'm not joking. Look on the Companies Act, Section 993.
If you refuse payment for what?
If you offer your own IOU.
If you offer your own promissory note.
Yeah. And if they're on Companies House and it says to draw to accept and make, they can get 10 years for it.
Do you know what he's talking about?
Because what it is, it's fraud as well. It's fraud as well. It's false representation of that company. So you can stick them. You can nick them as well. You've got to compel them in trust.
Okay, go on, downliner. What would you like to say?
What about?
I don't know.
I was just saying, James.
What would you like to say about? Okay, so you're saying, James, that you can get 10 years for offering a promissory note that's of your own making.
If you offer your IOU to a company and it said, and their company says to draw to accept the mate, that person or that company body can get 10 years for it if they refuse it, because they're not upholding the company policy from Companies House.
Right. James, sorry, John, did you hear any of that?
I did, but it was hard to follow. I don't really know what a promissory note is.
Okay, look, not to worry. Look, James, I just want to say thank you. Thank you always for being so on topic, mate. That, God bless you. We've got the modem Greek here. We've got the modem.
Think of it as an IOU, John.
We got the Modem Geek here too. Modem Geek, if you'd like to say anything. We've got Predator Jeff too. If you've got any questions, any of you guys, to compare notes with our American cousins, and Axiom Curb community on YouTube is saying, please try to rectify the audio levels. Sorry, go on, John, go on.
Just an IOU.
An IOU for what?
To promise to pay.
Okay.
Like a bill of exchange, basically. That's what it is. It's a bill of exchange.
Promise to pay the bearer on demand.
I think they took out the gold standard in America in
70s,
like 1933 or 1967.
Under Nixon, was it? Not Reagan.
Right. Okay.
So
look,
you
guys,
can only promise to pay.
Yeah. If you could speak into your microphones a bit closer, that would be really good.
I said handy. You can only promise to pay.
Yes.
You're covered under the.
James, do you know what this show's about tonight, mate?
All right. Oh, tell me.
Okay. All right. Okay. Look. Anyway, right. So I'm concerned, for example, about the policing tactics that we're going to see on Saturday. Maybe you'd care to comment on this, John. I'm going to get to Parliament Square a little bit early when folks are maybe turning up at Victoria, or before then, because I'm going to be kipping around the corner the night before, and I want to see what the kind of kettling arrangements are going to be, frankly, in Parliament Square. So maybe I'll put out a broadcast about that at about 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. You should keep your phone on all times.
Yeah, no, that'll be on Facebook. That'll be on Facebook. We are seeing. We did see, though. Do you know what's been going on with the Tommy Robinson situation over here in the UK, John? Have you been following that?
No.
You haven't been following that? Okay, all right. Well, I mean, Tommy Robinson is a guy who pretty much has been interned like a political prisoner. I mean, effectively, I mean, it's very convenient that he's inside anyway and off the street. But a couple of weekends ago, there was a turnout of about, I don't know, tens of thousands of people in the center of London went in to basically protest about his incarceration. And I would have thought...
Why is he incarcerated?
Because he was covering a court case which is about Pakistani rape gangs, child rape gangs.
Oh,
and
I think I did read that about a week or two ago.
Yeah, no, it's been really big over here.
And one of the judges said no media is allowed because they're protecting them for some reason.
That's right.
He's like, screw you, I'm going to publish it anyway, and he got incarcerated for that.
That's right. And I understand that some of the people involved in the case itself are VIP child pedophiles, basically. Some guy, politicians, at least one guy who's a counselor. And anyway, yeah, I mean, and so there's a D notice on that story in the UK. But people can obviously get the information online anyway. But nonetheless, yeah. Now John has echo, says Axiom Curb community. Blimey.
So what is the charge? Contempt of court?
Yes, it is. It is contempt of court. He was doing a live feed from outside the courthouse, actually on the road outside, not in the courthouse, outside the vicinity, and using guidelines that he'd been given as to where he could film. But on the other hand, he was pushing the boundaries on what he could do, given that he was already in possession of a contempt of court suspended sentence, as I understand. And so they basically enacted that suspended sentence when he was, albeit outside of the jurisdiction of the court. So I don't know. It seems to, but it was very, very convenient to shut this guy up. And in the meantime, these guys who are not being reported on are raping kids, for God's sake. The length and breadth of the country, there are these gangs. There was this case over here. I don't know. Have you got problems like this? This is an epidemic over here.
You brought up John Podesta. You look up John Podesta and what he's into and the stuff he has at his house and the murals of children and stuff. There's so many pedophiles running rampant.
Okay, you tell me.
It's absolutely disgusting.
You tell me, John. You tell me. John Podesta, go. What's going on there?
John Podesta is a part of the Red Shoe Gang. Pedophiles wear red shoes. They have red shoe parties. And they're usually highfalutin politicians, bureaucrats. And they're into child porn and having sex with children. And the rumors are, I don't know if you ever heard of Pizzagate, but if you go on YouTube and watch some of that stuff, and they show pictures of the inside of his house, and he has like children's statues of children in bondage and paintings. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but all you gotta do is type in John Podesta and his brother, red shoe parties, Pizzagate, on and on and on. There's endless stuff on the internet about John Podesta and Pizzagate.
So he was Hillary Clinton's. He was Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, wasn't he?
That's right.
And then the WikiLeaks released all the Podesta emails, which included the Pizzagate emails. Go on, John. Go on.
I mean, all this information is in the public sphere. I'm not some special dude. I have a computer. I have a cell phone. That's where I find all this information. All these assholes who say, oh, it's a conspiracy this, it's a conspiracy that, then how is there so much information everywhere on the internet and the public sphere for all of it's a lie? The pictures from inside of his house is a lie. The pictures of him at a party where everybody's wearing red shoes is a lie. The FBI themselves said that all the emails that Podesta and them were putting out had all that code language in it, like handkerchief and pizza with sausage, like handkerchief meant a child and pizza meant something else, and they were all code words that pedophiles use.
Yeah, that's right.
And the Child Protective Services of the United States, especially here in Florida, the head of the CPS got caught raping children, so they replaced him with someone else, and then that guy got caught trafficking and molesting children, and a lot of them ended up in shallow graves. I mean, this is going on, and people will just say, "Oh, conspiracy theory," but no one ever does their due diligence. Like, for instance, in my video where I got pulled over for speeding, the cop said that he arrested another cop for domestic, and right away I put that 40% of police abuse their wives. So I get all these comments saying, "Oh, you're such an asshole. Where do you get that information?" And all you gotta do is type in 40% of police abuse their wives in Google, and 25,000 pages show up that prove it. Am I the only one that has Google? I don't think so.
You're the only one who knows how to use it.
What more can I say? I guess so. If you see that in my video, why wouldn't you just Google it instead of coming on my channel and saying, "John, you're so full of shit"? Oh, okay, prove me wrong.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah. Well, it's exactly what I do when you offer your pay this now, otherwise we'll take it off you.
That's right. That's right, James. We've got Dr. Dawson here too. Simon Dawson, can you hear us, mate? Go on, downliner. What was that?
Pedophile hunters confront a Home Office employee accused of grooming a 12-year-old girl. What? By 42,000 people on Facebook Live.
What's that? Pedophile hunters what?
Confront Home Office Home Office employee accused of grooming a 12.
Home Office employee accused of grooming a 12-year-old
girl. Streamed live on Facebook.
Streamed live on Facebook.
And it was in Manchester as well. Manchester, 42,000 views in half an hour.
What was streamed?
There's a video.
It's very difficult to turn the echo off without you still being able to hear John.
Well, up and down, miner.
I'm sorry?
Call me John, by the way.
Oh, John.
Yeah. The confrontation with the married father was recorded on Wednesday evening in an undisclosed location in Manchester. It was streamed live on Facebook, gathering more than 42,000 views. In just
Why was it streamed? What was streamed? Oh, I see. The hunters. The hunters. The confrontation was streamed. Right. Good. Excellent. Who was this guy? A Home Office employee.
Just a Home Office
consultant.
Doesn't give a name.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we see that on Facebook.
It is, John. I mean, another thing that's never been explained are these 26 logged flights on Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express, Bill Clinton.
Yep. That's John.
It's just incredible, isn't it?
And Donald Trump has been on the flights.
Really? Donald Trump? Now, hold on a sec. Is that the case? Are you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere because Jeff and Clinton and Trump, they're all buddies. The Clintons and the Trump were buddies before the election.
I'm not saying that's not the case about Trump, but I did look into that allegation and I couldn't find any concrete evidence for that. But in the case of Bill Clinton, well, I'm just saying that was from my research. That was a couple of years ago or something. The Bill Clinton, on the other hand, yes. I mean, there's 26 logged flights, for God's sake. It's quite remarkable.
Bill Clinton's been accused of rape every 2 years since 1969.
He's always doing it, isn't he?
Ever since he was going to school at, where the hell did he go to school? So I'm in where my PC is now. I'll see if I can find Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump information. But go ahead.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Look, if you're watching on DLive, do us a favor and upvote this or something, because yesterday I earned 12 quid or something on DLive, which was really useful. So if I can do that again, that'd be great, because that's the only 12 quid I'll get probably. But anyway, yeah, no, sure. And thank you, Andrew Skelton is on there, and everybody else is a guest on there. So look, TDL's on there. So yeah, get on DLive, guys, and DLive, guv.li/chaos, and on DLive, register. And it does take a couple of weeks because It's this blockchain technology, but we got to get over there. And John, what's your take on? Well, you probably haven't heard of it, but there's this thing called Article 13. Oh no, hold on a sec. What have I just done? Have I just stopped this streaming on DLive? I might have done. No, I don't think so. Yeah, there's this thing called Article 13, whereby in Europe, we're not going to be allowed to share copyright material without somehow attributing it. Presumably what could happen is that this is filtered out by default from social networks such as Facebook and YouTube, leaving us needing to use these other networks like Steemit and DLive. What's your take on what you see in terms of online censorship? I don't think it's affecting you quite as much in that way, at least, is it, stateside at the moment?
It's not coming from the government because we have the Fair Use Act. As long as you're doing it for informational purposes or parody or comedy, you can use other people's stuff in your videos and whatever, but they do want to get rid of it. They hate the idea of the internet because the internet is the epitome of the First Amendment, and it's the epitome of what the First Amendment was supposed to be, a free press. The reason they hate the internet is because it's wide open and you can say anything you want, and it's up to the people to decide what's true and filter out what's BS versus what's true, instead of the people, the prostitutes on TV telling us what's right and wrong. And that's the reason, in 2008, there was 13 people on the United States ballot for president, but you only got to hear about 2 of them. In reality, if all 13 had equal time, just mathematically alone, Obama would have never made it, because first of all, he's the worst candidate we had in 2008. We had a constitutional candidate named Ron Paul, but the media pretended like Obama was the Messiah while completely lying and marginalizing Ron Paul. So our media controls the population, and guys like us who actually have critical thinking ability and get on the internet and find the truth from what's fake are marginalized and called names: conspiracy theorists, flat earthers. Conspiracy theorist is somebody who doesn't believe known liars. That's what a conspiracy theorist is. So yeah, over there you guys don't have the Fair Use Act, and you don't have a Bill of Rights. You guys are behind the 8 ball from the start. We have a constitution that they're trying to decimate, and that's what I try to fight for every single day.
We do have similar rights to the fair use.
We do have a Bill of Rights. We gave you that. Okay.
But
they're trying to get rid of it, you're saying.
Yeah, well, that's right. That's right. And what you're referring to with the copyright is pretty much like fair dealing. And for example, journalists can share what they see. And if it's newsworthy, then, or it can be used for satire and stuff like that. But under this, that is all called into question. That directive, not from our government, but from the EU. Yeah, this is why it's so important to be out of the clutches of this damn globalist club. Really, this cornerstone of they admitted. What they want, John, basically is global government. I mean, okay, they're probably not going to get it anyway, but yeah. I mean, you know that, yeah. You see that. That's why this is our battle. Just as you've got a battle in the States. That's why they want your guns, man. No.
Exactly. They're never going to get them without violence. They'll never get them without violence. Americans don't go for that stuff, man. Well, about 20% of us won't go for it. The other ones are just like the people in Germany who had no clue what Hitler was doing behind the scenes. They're just useful idiots. That's why they hate me so much.
I'm just wondering if the echoes... Go on. Sorry. I'm sorry? You broke up there.
The stuff that I preach goes against what Americans have been taught since they're child, like police are heroes and blah, blah, blah. They think they're heroes just because they wear a costume. It's indoctrination. They're just that high school guy who couldn't get laid, who liked to bully everybody. When high school was over, the only way to get back into that same scenario is to become a cop or an FBI or whatever. They like the thought of controlling other people. That's socialism, and I don't go for that. You don't tell me what to do. As long as I'm not hurting anybody or damaging any property, I should be able to live my life free from molestation from government, especially guys with guns on the side of the road or wherever else.
Okay, we're getting a lot of echo here on I'm interviewing John using Jitsi tonight, and it's not very good, is it? It's not very good. It's I'm wondering if it would be any different if we used anything else, any other platform. It's stopped now. Okay, it has stopped. Right, it has stopped now because I changed something. The only problem is that the guys on Discord cannot hear you. But they were asking useless questions anyway, and James Gore was so off topic. So, yeah. So anyway, right, okay. Take some comments. Paul Spring, what's the 4-digit code I need for Discord? Paul Spiring, you don't need a 4-digit code. What you need is just to go to guv.li/rant. And that will, in a web browser, and that will open up your Discord application, and then click on the Union Jack and enter the show, for Daily Chaos. There you go. And Tom, yeah, there you go. Right, good. Yeah, gov.li rant. Helen Lasky-Smith says, yes, you are correct about Kennedy. Yeah, the CIA shot Kennedy, says Chris Ford. Helen says, yeah. You're right. My brother met him at the White House and shook hands when he was 16 years old. That doesn't mean anything, Helen. It has to be said. Go on, John. Sorry, who wanted to say? James, go on.
There's an old movie called Executive Action.
No, sorry, John.
Pretty much outlines what I think happened in the Kennedy assassination.
Oh, James, right, you can't hear John. There's a movie that pretty much chronicles what you thought happened, John.
Yeah, it's called Executive Action. It's a great movie. And I believe the way they spell it out in that movie is how it went down.
How do you think it went down?
Well,
pretty much.
Kennedy was doing things that the globals didn't like.
Hold on, everybody on Discord. Discord, you can't hear him. You can't hear him on Discord. I'm sorry. Look, it's the only way. There is no echo on.
Well, if we turn our headsets down and then turn the speakers up, then we can watch it on the stream, can't we?
Yeah, do that, guys. Yeah, please, John, carry on. Go on. So, what's your theory about what happened? Does it involve George Herbert Walker Bush?
Oh, the Bush was he was there at the time. I forgot what his position was and his role was, but he was around during that time, and
he was pictured outside the repository, the book repository. On the day of the assassination, apparently, I've seen that photo. I don't know whether it's genuine. That's 10 years before he became director of the CIA.
That's right. And his father was Preston Bush, I believe,
Prescott,
who helped. Oh, yeah, that's right. And he helped fund the Nazis, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Right. Yeah, the Bush family is disgusting. And then George Bush's first energy company, Arbusto Energy, was funded by the Bin Ladens, and they would vacation with the Bin Ladens. It's all interconnected. Those people are not elected; they're selected.
Yeah, that's very curious, wasn't it? That's very curious about the Bin Ladens flying straight out off the back of 9/11. That was kind of weird, wasn't it?
And then the Bush family's good friends with the Bin Ladens. They vacation with the Bin Ladens.
I wonder if people remember that the Bin Ladens were flown out of the States a couple of days after 9/11. That was very odd, really, when you think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I did 3 years research on 9/11 alone.
Stage, man.
Hold on, James. Go on, John. Go on. Yeah. Just stinks, doesn't it? I mean, that is the day that changed our lives. And actually, that is really the common parameter between our two cultures, really, that day, in terms of our lives and what we've seen and what's happened to both of our cultures and other cultures throughout the world since. Incredible.
The 7/7 bombing in London, that's another inside job.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I mean, I did 3 years research between 9/11 and 7/7 bombing. And anyone who could watch the material I've watched and come to any other conclusion that it wasn't an inside job, I mean, they must not have two
Is
brain cells to
anyone
rub
there?
together. There's so much evidence out in the public sphere. All you have to do is look at it. Turn off the TV, turn on your monitor, and get to work. Or else shut the hell up. You don't belong in politics if you don't want to research the facts.
Yeah, you're right. There were drills on both days, weren't there?
Right.
NORAD
Yes,
was stood down famously on 9/11, and there was stand downs
right.
in London too.
There are drills that there are drills that actually come to become reality right in the middle of the drill. That's not a coincidence.
For me, though, the big smoking gun, and there's lots of them, but the big smoking gun was on 9/11, and it was Building 7.
Yes.
Just absolutely beggars belief that that thing would have fallen down. A few office fires.
Type in Lloyd England's virtual confession.
I'm sorry?
If you go to YouTube and type in Lloyd England's virtual confession, you'll hear the cab driver from the Pentagon admit that he was paid to drive across the bridge that day.
Really? Why?
What's that?
Why was he paid to drive across the bridge on 9/11?
Well, he was the cab driver who supposedly a plane hit a light post and the light post lunged into his windshield. His name is Lloyd England. You got to look him up. Lloyd England's virtual confession. And these two journalists who are just like us kept going to his house and kept pressuring him and pressuring him and pressuring him. And finally, one of them was recording secretly in the back seat. And he was saying, you know, this ain't for me, man. This is for the people with money. And, you know, I wasn't supposed to be in this. And the guy's like, what, they paid you? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, they paid you to drive across the bridge? He's like, yeah, they did. So you got to see that. And there's another documentary called The Pentagon, where the Pentagon police officers say that the plane did not go the path of the official story. It went the other way. And this is Pentagon police. This isn't, just Joe Schmo off the street. This isn't John Filax in his Hyundai. This is police officers saying, no way.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I'm just looking at Lloyd England's Impossible Story and on pilots for 9/11 Truth Forum. Another great site is ae911truth.org.
Yeah.
Architects and engineers.
And another one is patriotsquestion911.com or .org.
Can you guys hear us? Go on.
Patriots Question 911 is all upper level brats or politicians or generals or military guys who all don't believe the official story, the official conspiracy theory. And then you got Building 7. And then you got Larry Silverstein, who went on PBS public TV and said, oh, we had so much loss of life and damage, so I spoke to the fire commander that day, and we decided the best thing to do was pull it. So we made the decision to pull, and then we watched the building come down. He was talking about World Trade Center 7. Pull it is a demolition term. It means to pull the building down or to demolish it. And you saw the way World Trade Center 7 fell down in about 7 seconds. That can only be done with controlled explosives.
Yeah, that's right. And another...
I'm sorry. I don't like to theorize about 9/11, but if I were to theorize, I think the plane that went down in Shanksville, that really didn't go down in Shanksville, I believe that plane was meant to hit World Trade Center 7 so that it could look like 3 planes took down 3 buildings.
Well, it was very convenient that that building went down, Building 7 that day, wasn't it? It held all sorts of stuff that the deep state wanted covered up, no? Including the actual plans for the day, you could argue.
And Rudy Giuliani was told to leave the building because it was under threat, and also the BBC over there reported the Solomon Brothers building, which is World Trade Center 7. They reported it collapsed 20 minutes before it collapsed, and Jane Stanley is reporting that it collapsed, and you could see it in the background behind her head. And also CNN in Washington D.C. reported it 20 minutes early. So there's so many things that prove inside job, If you don't know it, it's because you're not willing to know it and you don't want to know it. You're being willfully ignorant.
That's right. There's a lot of stuff, loads of testimony left out of the 9/11 Commission report, isn't there? From witnesses who talked about explosions, hearing explosions in the lobbies, and seeing evidence of such, seeing explosions. All of that was left out. Accounts that we've heard since now from firemen and first responders.
Right. And it's all and they're on video. And there's a guy named Barry Jennings who was trapped inside World Trade Center 7, and he testified 100% that there was bombs going off to where their floor collapsed and they got stuck. Firefighters had to come get them, and they were walking over dead bodies on the ground level of the World Trade Center 7, which hasn't been struck by a plane yet and didn't collapse till 5:20 in the afternoon.
You know, I interviewed Susan Lindauer, who has, I think, written a book subsequently about her experience. She was the CIA asset for Iraq when Saddam Hussein was still in power, trying to broker peace. And apparently she was telling me how he wanted to carve out this huge trade deal to buy hundreds of thousands of American cars and stuff like that, basically to sweeten the states, wanted to bend over backwards to prevent any chance of war. And the US just ignored the lot. And subsequently, she saw the March for War to Iraq and saw 9/11 used as an excuse and spoke out about it and was incarcerated over it and all sorts. Was threatened with a lobotomy, for God's sake, Susan Lindauer was, by the US government, effectively. She stated on a show that I had her on a while ago. Incredible lady. Anyway, she said one of the things that they knew about the CIA in the weeks leading up to the attacks in New York City were maintenance being carried out nocturnally on the towers by a company owns no less than by in part on the board one of the Bush family, a cousin of the president. Keep it in the family, huh? And this company apparently was going up into the towers, particularly the preceding 2 or 3 weekends before the attack, and doing all sorts of stuff. And it just, it's all very odd. There were also a load of floors that had been vacant for weeks. Then all sorts of noise had been heard from those floors, things going on and stuff like that. You watch those buildings come down. That is not aviation fuel that took those buildings down, for God's sake. The reason I harbour on about this a bit, well, for one thing, because I haven't done any show on 9/11 for a long time, so it's good to wax lyrical about it for every now and then. It is the day that changed all of our lives. It's what brought in this war on terror, which effectively was a war on liberty.
That's right.
And our freedom of speech, which brings us to this point, for example, now, where we have to march on London to try and get this government, for God's sake, to listen to the democratic will of the people, which was, guess what? We just want bloody Brexit. We want self-determination. A similar deal stateside, similar deal pretty much everywhere else. And we're seeing this, for example, John, now, I'm going off on one here, but we're seeing this, what they call this populist streak going on. In the States too, they talk about it, don't they? But in Europe, all sorts of more and more surge to what they call these populist parties. Pop is Latin for people. It seems to me it's good. But the bottom line is that if you're, centrist status quo politicians are just delivering plutocracy at every turn, irrespective, Pepsi, Coke, duopolistic politics, not listening, for God's sake, guess what? Yeah, the people are going to go off to these other parties, and good luck to us. Anyway, but
Is UKIP still around?
Well, yeah, it is, and it's gaining a bit more momentum now, actually, as well, under this new leader. The last leader was dismal, and frankly, I think he was a plant. I think he would have sat very handsomely as a Remainer in this Theresa May cabinet, for God's sake. But anyway, he's gone because he, I don't know, was silly. And they've got somebody in now who does actually look to be better. Yes, Gerard Batten. But fingers crossed, UKIP has been a poor power for many years. And so in the UK, we do have very little powerful opposition against, what I guess you would class as this Pepsi Coke challenge, yeah? And you've got the same deal. How do you field an independent? You can't.
Well, you can, but you're just marginalized. You're told that, oh, you're wasting your vote and they can never win. Yeah, if you don't vote for them, they can't win. Exactly. You keep voting for these liberal Republicans and Democrats, and you're going to get your socialist America, and it's going to get tighter and tighter to where you can't barely do anything in this country without paid permission. You can't cut a tree down in your yard without asking for paid permission from the city council or something. And then if they decide to let you cut down your tree, then you can cut down your tree.
Yeah.
You think about that.
Yeah. Well, actually, they're cutting down our trees now because
in America is walk. And sometimes even walking at a certain time will get you stopped by the police. What are you doing? What are you doing? Where are you going? None of your business. That's where I'm going.
Yeah. Yeah.
The idea of freedom is being lost, and it's being people who talk like me are labeled
100.
Hold on a sec. Hold on, John, 1 sec. James, go on. What do you want to say, mate?
Arsenal 100 keeps messaging me saying he wants to come in.
Where is he? I can't see him. He's not.
Yeah, one second.
Get your door, mate, for God's sake. All right, blimey. Look, I'll tell you what, we'll take some comments, yeah. Kenneth Noel Gabriel Curran says, batten on. Defend the faith, defend the realm. And says, shared again from York, a.k.a. Eabrick of Eabrick. Foul Bullock. Clear the way. Justice with truth. Justice for the children. Thank you, Kenneth. Chris Ford. Bin Ladens were big into construction in Saudi. Connect to 9/11. This bloke Trump. This bloke Trump is there not an argument to say, John, that he is, relatively speaking, an independent? He went on some telly show or something 10, 15 years ago and said it'd run as either, probably as Republican because they're not as bright, I think he said on this show. I think he did. But then, whatever. He ran as he did, and he divided both in the process. He split both big time, didn't he? He gave a real kick in the teeth to duopolistic politics. And I have to say, personally, I'm really grateful for that service. What would you say about that?
Different guy. I wish it was Ron Paul instead of Donald Trump.
Oh yeah, sure.
Donald Trump is he's a self-centered jackass. If you really want to get down to it, all he cares about is Donald Trump for the most part. So someone will bring up something to him, he'll try to fix it. I don't like his policy on Israel because he has a lot of Israelis in his cabinet, and they're Israel first, America second. And as far as the European Union thing goes, my family's from Greece. My mom still lives in Greece, and she has property in Greece. And once you guys joined the European Union, Greece went down the toilet.
Yeah.
These globalist governments and, unions and blah, 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 Trilateral Commission and Council on Foreign Relations, they can all go to hell as far as I'm concerned. I want independence. I want more than two parties.
Yeah. On the other hand, at least he has done something to expose party politics. Is that not something at least? Ron Paul, as an aside.
The things I like about Trump, I like that he uses Twitter. I don't like what he says on Twitter, but I like that he uses it. I also like that he put in Justice Neil Gorsuch. I also like that he exposes fake media because our media is disgusting prostitutes. And I could sit there. I can't even watch it because my blood will start to boil. Like, no, that's not true. Nope, that's not true. Nope, that's a lie. I could just go on and on and on. I cannot turn on my TV here. I'm internet only.
Ron Paul is a great libertarian. I got a lot of time for Ron Paul. I sympathize with he's your hero. Well, the problem he had, now he didn't even run as an independent. He ran as a Republican, and he was in those primary hustings and what have you, and he wasn't given. He was doing very, very well at the town halls, for example. He was packing out the town halls, but he wasn't getting the coverage from CNN. It was the main culprit, and in fact, I watched one time at the end of his speech or whatever, or he was available for interview there with one of the correspondents on CNN, and this was so classic. She basically turns to the studio and says, "Well, why do I want to interview Ron Paul?" Looks like with a face that showed kind of, frankly, hatred towards the guy. Yeah, I'll tell you. And, that is what he was up against. That is what he was up against. No,
that's right. But it wasn't just CNN. It was Fox News. That's supposed to be a conservative news network, and they're not. They're liberals too.
Yeah.
If you're a conservative news network, Ron Paul should be your fucking hero.
No, but
they're not conservative.
Yeah. Oh dear. Okay, Chris Ford, go on. Hey, John.
I mean, that's pretty much it, my man. I got about 3 or 4 more minutes, and then I can.
That's all right. Good on you, mate. Good on you. I'm wrapping the show at the top of the hour anyway. I'll take a few more comments. Okay. Chris Ford says Israel's Mossad equivalent to CIA and MI5. She says unless the state is connecting 5G, watch the tree chopping then. That's a good point. Are you up on this 5G, John? And the fact 5G. Okay, we'll talk about that another day. Another insurance scam. Care of the Minister 1984 and Grenfell Towers, Kenneth Noel Gabriel Curran says. And I hope the audio did improve a wee bit there. Paul Hart says, I am a Trump supporter, but anyone in power doesn't get voted, they're picked. Chris Warren says, how does a plane cut through thick concrete and metal like a knife through butter? And he also says, Saudi Arabia sued the American government because the Saudi pilots are still alive. Yep. Do you know what's going on with that case? Has anything happened with that case that you're aware of, John? That the Saudi government suing? Was it not thrown out in the end?
I don't know, sir. I haven't heard that one. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not sure what happened with that in the end. I know it was a... Can you guys hear us on Discord still before we go? Blimey. Look, you know what? I'm going to see you on Saturday. I'm traveling tomorrow, but I'll see you Saturday.
Ollie, thanks for having me, man.
Oh, hold on. What's going on there?
Good night and God bless, Ollie. I'm munching.
I want to say a big cheers to John Filax calling in and having a chat from Florida in the States. God bless you, John. Have another chat another time, I hope, sir.
See you Saturday, Ollie.
Thank you very much. I'll see you later.
And
bye, guys.
Saturday, yeah? Saturday. Guys?
I'll see you.
I'll catch you there Saturday, yeah?
You will, man. Just look for the biggest git there of the IOUs.
John, see you Saturday, mate. Predator Jeff, are you there? Blimey. You know, I want to say a big cheers to PJ Tansley, to PJ, who's going to be streaming Daily Brexit on the show's behalf. Big cheers to PJ, who's going to be streaming from kind of 11 in the morning. Basically me on this thing in London from 11 in the morning till, I don't know, late on Saturday, 23rd. And that'll be on the Daily Brexit page on Facebook, I guess. So yeah, it says down there, see you tomorrow or something. No, it doesn't. No, good, because I won't. I'll see you Saturday. And I'm sorry about the audio tonight, folks. Yeah, I'll tell you what. When folks are on Discord, it is a nightmare. It's a nightmare, I gotta say. James, I'll see you there, man, on Saturday.
Yeah, man. I need to dig up a few information. If anyone stops me from paying, they're getting a Section 99300 companies.
Oh, mate, you're not gonna get far, dude, if you try to sell them your promissory note. Blimey. Carl. Oh. That's Carl. He's popped in. Look, if anybody wants to pop in, I'll leave them chatting on Discord. You can still have a chat if you like. Hey, Carl. Hello, mate. Yeah.
Just before you go, I was listening to Tess doing that thing where they were arresting the IT bloke from the Home Office. She said to use DU Recorder as an app, so when you do your live streaming, it gets saved to the cloud at the same time. So if your phone gets lost or stolen and the police take it off you, you still have the recordings in the cloud.
That's sweet.
Oh, yeah, sure. But if I stream it out on Facebook, then it'll still be on Facebook anyway, won't it? I think. Not
unless they pull it, but you see, if you record it through DU Recorder, I think it was called, for an app, it can also be stored, so just in case.
Right.
And this is Facebook we're talking about, so better safe than sorry.
Yeah, you can stream through Facebook or anything, but anything you record, it will put it straight to the cloud if you go through that DU.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a great time. Safe journey.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers, guys. God bless you. We're still streaming, by the way. I put some other music on.
Right.
This is quite nice. This is called Tomorrow by Ben Sound. This is. Oh, I thought you might as well. So, are you gonna go along, Carl?
I don't think so. I've been asked to work, and I've actually pulled me back yesterday as well, so I'm finding it hard to stand up at the moment. Mate. Walking around London, I don't think it's going to be a good thing. Never mind it'll be 8-hour driving as well there and back with a bad back. No. So
bloody useless.
Sounds like a poor excuse, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It sounds really crap. And this music is depressing too. So, hold on a sec. Let me change it. Let me put something else on. Because I can't finish with that. Right, okay, yeah, good. So, Saturday, folks, 23rd. We've got to get there. We've got to get as many folks there as possible. And we got to show the government what it means to us. I tell you, we just got to do everything we can, people. We've got to keep the pressure up. And it's a good opportunity for us to be hooking up with each other as well. And, enjoy it. And do not be provoked by some bloody Eid festival up the road. Bugger that, It's not at the right time. It's inappropriate. This is a celebration for the British people to come together to reclaim our sovereignty. All right. Good. Just sort of point that out. Nighty-night, guys. God bless you.